Greetings, gardeners. Welcome back to the Green Garden Guys channel. Today I have a very special guest, of old friend of mine and a business associate, actually, from California. This is Mike Vogel of Menlo Growers.
Hi there.
Hey, I'm sure that plenty of you in California know who Menlo is. Menlo is a provider of subtropical fruit trees, citrus trees, avocado trees, and God knows what else. Mike's got a lot of stuff on his hands. Our association goes back to when I worked for the partners at Navale's Nursery in California, in the Bay Area, that Mike was one of my citrus suppliers. In fact, I only really had two or so, and so we would split the business, but Mike was usually able to provide me with a lot of plants I couldn't find from some of his competition. And so guys in California looking for stuff that I don't have, you might want to find out whether Mike's got it. So Mike, tell us, that's the history of how we met. Sometimes you get to meet people in business and they become friends. Now, we don't see each other very often, but we always had a pretty good relationship. Mike's on vacation. I'm lucky enough to have him stop in. We just finished breakfast. And Mike, tell us a little bit about the history of Menlo Growers and maybe how you got into citrus.
Well, first of all, Bill, thanks for having us here, and thanks for the great tour of your place. I really enjoyed seeing everything you have here. It's quite remarkable. We ate our fill last evening, and we enjoyed every bite of it. It was awesome.
Thank you.
So our relationship goes back when you were at Navale's. That's quite a while. And then the Menlo history goes back even further. I would like to first say that Menlo started in the mid-70s by George and Betsy Vashel, who lived in Menlo Park. And George had a hobby of citrus in his backyard. And later he thought, hey, I could do this as a nursery. So he started up Menlo Growers in Gilroy. He bought some land and established a citrus nursery. Years later, 25 years ago to be exact, he wanted to retire, and we happened to buy Menlo Growers. Since then, it's been nothing but increasing the types of varieties that we carry in citrus, as well as deciduous fruit trees, subtropicals like guavas and avocados. Once in a while, we will have a tropical plant or two.
Well, that kind of covers something that I always wondered. I never could figure out, with you being positioned in Gilroy, why it was called Menlo Growers. And so now I just learned something too. Now I know. I never have asked that question. So, you did cover some of the types of fruits that you've got over there, but give us a little more detail of what people might be able to expect if they were to shop through you.
Well, in the citrus world, we probably have more varieties of citrus than any other grower. And some of the more unusual ones that some people may recognize would be like the Australian finger lime, lime quats, Tavares lime quat, Eustace lime quat, Nippon orange quat, the Calamandan, and then an array of different mandarins and oranges. And we will grow those in anything from a 5-gallon container on up to a 45-gallon container. So we have the 15-gallon and the 25-gallon in between that. And then we also we carry about 10 varieties or more of avocado, again in all those size containers. We carry guavas of different tropical guavas. We carry the strawberry guavas. Deciduous fruit trees. We have a lot of varieties of deciduous fruit trees, vines, grapevines. We carry blueberries. So quite a bit to offer.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And in fact, some of you folks, if you want to take a look back there on my old videos in California, that famous Beaumont macadamia nut in my yard growing in the Bay Area, that was one of the trees that came to me through Michael, through Menlo Growers. And also that famous photograph of the Owari Satsuma that is driving everybody crazy. That was one of Mike's trees too.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's cool. And so then, as far as folks in California who may be interested in some of this neat stuff you got, Mike, how are they going to get a hold of you? What's the way
Well,
to do that?
I guess one good way is on our with our email at Menlo Growers 1, the digit number 1 at AOL.com.
I'll put that into the text.
That's perfect. Great. And then they could also get hold of me by texting 408-427-1828.
And we'll put that into
receiving text. And then as far as ordering, they would order that through the email or texting, and plants could be either picked up at the nursery or we can deliver within our sphere of delivery truck movement.
All right, so that's a big one because that's changed lately, right?
Yeah, sure has.
So what is that sphere?
That sphere is Greater Bay Area, probably up to Sacramento, up to Marin County presently, and then out down the coast to Santa Barbara area, further south to the greater LA area, and at times down to the San Diego area.
Wow, that's massive.
It's a great big coverage.
And so your coverage used to be more limited than that because of, well, let me see. Well, there was the citrus decline that was limiting where we moved trees from California, but there was also now you have the how long bin thing, the
Asian psyllid.
yeah, and so that's what's actually expanded your range because the psyllid's spreading. Is that?
No, it actually, we expanded the range because in the northern counties none of the pests had been found. So the state agriculture restricted movement of citrus into that zone from our zone. So what happened was we kind of looked further south because we could ship down there. So we just kind of changed our direction due to that.
So it means Mike doesn't like doing mail orders on individual trees, so that wouldn't be the best way to do this. But certainly you can have them deliver if you're in the range. You can also come into the nursery to pick them up on the site. And I imagine you could also go to one of your local retailers that does business with you and place an order.
Yep, that's
Probably the easiest way.
Great way to do it too.
Yep. Yeah, so you just find anybody in your neighborhood there in California that does business with Menlo Growers and just tell them, hey, I need one of these, and they'll find out whether Mike's got it or not.
Absolutely, yes.
And I saw some pictures of some beautiful, I think they were like 45-gallon Atamoya trees in his pictures this morning, and also some of the hugest avocado trees I have ever seen and in pots. And so this is like, got to have it now, and they were fruiting yesterday, right?
Yeah, these days a lot of people are looking for larger specimens, anything from a 24-inch to a 36-inch. So we're happy to accommodate those customers as long as we have the material. More than happy to deliver it to them.
No, he's got them. He's got them. Yeah, unlike Bill, who doesn't like to pick up anything larger than a 5-gallon bucket, and preferably a 1. But yeah, that's some beautiful looking stuff. I have never had any problems, I don't think, with hardly any of the stock when we've done business. Sometimes, I guess, some things get so popular it's hard to get them
You got it.
up to size.
It's hard to keep up on the highest demand products.
Right, that can happen, you know, and yeah. No, well, the Tavares Limequat and the Indio Mandarin Quat.
If you're into mojitos, the Tavares Limequat is a great tree for that.
Awesome, especially if you're where it's a little cold for the lime.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's part kumquat and
Mexican lime.
yep, and it is good, and you can eat it skin and all. So when you toss it into your drink, you can even eat the rind with that one.
Now I would say probably my favorite of all the types of citrus where you would eat the skin is the Hakuchu Kumquat. That has an exceptionally sweet skin. The inside being slightly tart, it's just a great combination. Anytime somebody tastes that fruit, they automatically buy it.
I remember when you first introduced Hakuchu Kumquat, and I got it into the list, and so I had to contact the sign department at Navales about this because I needed signage for that kumquat.
I think I know where you're headed.
Yes, and her name was Lauren Schumann, okay, was the lady in charge of signs. And when I sent in a sign request for Fukushu, she was sure I was pulling her leg.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she asked you how to spell that.
That's right.
And you went really slow with the spelling.
It was hysterical.
Yes.
And it took me forever to convince her I wasn't pulling her leg on that sign request. Anyway,
That's great.
Yeah, this has been really nice. I'm really glad that you stopped in here. It's nice to see people that I've done business with over the years and are totally into fruit trees, just like some of us other nut jobs here are. You have made a complete living out of it. It's been successful. I imagine the business is thriving.
It's doing quite well.
Well, here's a farmer. Okay, I hear things from people all the time. Can a regular Joe, like get into this business? Yeah. But it's all a matter, I'm sure there was an awful lot of determination on your part.
It's a lot of work. It's the closest thing to having a dairy. Having a nursery is the next closest thing.
Yeah, the only thing about nursery I think that beats some other kinds of field farming, like tomatoes or corn, is that the compact size. You have much more dollar per square foot when you get into that sort of business.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You got to be there with it. Now, you don't actually have to milk them twice a day, luckily. No?
Thank God, no.
I haven't lived in Wisconsin for over 15 years. We know about cows, all right? Yeah, they'll tie you down. A nursery can. It's a little easier here in Puna because I get rain, and I leave my stuff out there in the field,
Lucky guys.
Yeah, well, that's probably one of you. Well, there's a lot of different things we do in nurseries, but I imagine in California, keeping the plants watered.
That's critical.
Critical issue, yeah. And then, of course, you guys in Gilroy, where garlic is famous, the Gilroy Garlic Festival and all that. Garlic has one stink, citrus has another, but fragrance, I think we'll refer to that. But your winters get actually fairly chilly sometimes.
Oh, we get down into the upper 20s on a regular basis, and we have, since I've been there, we've been down to 17 degrees.
Ooh!
Which turned the entire nursery brown. So
what year?
It was pretty scary.
When was
That's
that?
about 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we've had various other less severe freeze damage at different times. It's pretty scary. It's not the best location, but it's what we have. So these days we try to cover material, and we have some greenhouses, so that's how we deal with it.
Well, I can imagine, because I know Gilroy is a zone colder at least than Fremont, where I lived, and we would have issues too. I mean, I've frozen trees in the town of Fremont, especially things like Mexican lime.
Yeah.
Mexican lime, or I terminated my cherimoyas one year there that way, yeah.
Typically, any night, we're probably just about 10 degrees colder than Fremont.
Wow, yeah.
But on a freeze night, we're much colder because of Fremont's proximity to the bay.
The bay, yeah. Yeah, that's the beauty of being here in Hawaii. The water's everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which way's the beach? Yeah, so we have that moderation from all directions. Well, I can't think of too much else to say about it. All I got to say is I'm so happy you're here, Mike, and it's been really a pleasure.
Bill,
yep.
Being here. Thanks so much for the invite.
I just wish you'd stay longer. That's my only problem. I got work to do.
Yeah, we're willing to work for food, so yeah, we can help in that department.
I see those guys on the roadside all the time now. Had I known that was you holding the sign, I'd have stopped. Aloha.
If I was a fruitarian, I could survive right here,
You
folks.
could, right. I don't know how good being a fruitarian is for you, but it certainly doesn't hurt eating a lot of fruit, that's for sure. I think both of us are still alive and healthy here because of that. So, aloha, folks. Thanks for watching. And, hey, contact Mike. I'm going to put his information down in the text below. So you can get a hold of him over there, and this will alleviate some of your concerns when you're watching my videos here in Hawaii and you go, I want that so bad. Maybe Mike's got it, or maybe I'll ship it to him. Who knows? Okay,
Aloha everyone.